Good Monday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz. Hopefully you had a very nice weekend. It was pretty summery out there for our first weekend of autumn. That is not the case anymore. Go figure. We're all headed back to work, back to school, and we have some rain. Really active radar, but thankfully this is going to be super beneficial for us. We're not done with the rain after today. In fact, it's going to be a pretty active week. Yes, we know we need the rain, but we are in a fall weather pattern now. So fall weather lovers, our time has come. Let's kick things off this morning with our weather headlines because we are going to have multiple rounds of rain this week. Also some gusty winds at times. We have some wind gust up in the islands right now, closer to the coast through the strait, gusting up to about 40 miles per hour. The rest of us going to stay rather breezy, but we could have some stronger wind gusts Tuesday and into Wednesday as a stronger system begins to roll into the area, and our temperatures are going to stay cooler than normal. Right now our average high is about 68, 67, so we'll be near that, if not below that, but the 80s, 90s, we can say goodbye to that. And so over the next couple of days, again, we are going to dodge raindrops. Now Friday and into the weekend, looks as though we're going to have a couple of lingering showers Friday and maybe into Saturday, early Saturday, but trending a little more on the drier side of things. And so let's talk all about it and the reason why. So at the moment, we have a front moving through, and with that front, we have cooler temperatures moving in, although it is a little balmy out there. Temperatures currently in the 50s and 60s, not going to warm up all too much, and we have just some steady light rain falling over the area. You see that spin over the Gulf of Alaska, that counterclockwise spin. This is the culprit of the stronger rain, the heavier rain that we're going to get into Tuesday and into our Wednesday. This is a parent low pressure system, and so it is sending a couple of waves of fronts through the area, one of which right now moving in. We're going to look at the big picture, and then I'll zoom in just to time it out for you a little closer to home so we can get an idea of when we'll have some dry time in the mix. But keep an eye on that area of low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska. You see that spin there. I'm just going to take it day by day. So here's front number one, and then you see how that low begins to drop to the south toward the Pacific Northwest off the coast of British Columbia, and then it nears closer to us. Likely going to move over Washington into the second half of the work week. So here we go into Thursday. You see how it weakens as it pushes ashore. And that's when our rain chances will start to come down. And we'll have to see if we are going to trend a little drier heading into the weekend, as we could have a ridge building over the Pacific as we head into the weekend. But that's why I think we'll have at least a couple of lingering showers out there early Saturday. Here's a look around Washington this morning, our King 5 camera that's in Tacoma, and you see that we have gray skies. We have gray skies everywhere, but we have some stronger winds closer to the coast as well. And so some minor beach erosion may be possible, some sneaker waves. That is a greater chance, or there is a greater chance for that Tuesday and into Wednesday with that stronger system. I also wanted to show you a look from our Queen Anne camera looking toward downtown Seattle. The time right now is around 7:30 in the morning, so you see gray skies, very, very light rain pushing over the area. And so basically what we are going to have over the next couple hours, just some passing light rain. It's going to taper off as the day goes on. And so we'll have a hit or miss showers into the back half of our day. So let's jump right back into it. Another look, you see in Squim, we have more showers out there as well, even with that rain shadow. Though you can see that rain shadow setting up. Actually, you see how that little donut hole is setting up right here. See the rain shadow, so very light totals right here. The northeastern side of the Olympics, but we are expecting that to eventually fill in as the day goes on. And so you see steady rain falling over the area. High temperatures today will be in the 60s, and you see at the top left of your screen, the average high, that's for Seattle. 67, and so we'll be near that, but most spots are going to stay in the 60s, not warming up all too much today. Let's talk about the air quality, and then we'll go into timing of the rain, just so you can get an idea, because we still have a little bit of smoke haze out there near the Cascades, even though we have rain moving in. But our friends in Chelan County, you see Wenatchee, that light gray, that is still that air quality. That's where we have some of that really thick wildfire smoke. And so for the fire weather forecast for today, this is for central Washington, still that air quality alert in place. They are going to have higher relative humidities coming up, so that's some good news. This is going to be beneficial for the firefighting efforts. However, increased gusty winds, and not just there as well, it's going to be here. Our temperatures tonight, by the way, will dip down to the 40s and 50s. Didn't have that graphic set up for you there, but most of us will be sleeping. So again, here's a look at tomorrow's forecast, because it's going to be kind of the opposite of today. We're kicking things off with rain. That's going to switch to showers. Tomorrow, we're dry in the morning, and we'll have increasing rain to the back half of the day, which means we'll have more time to warm up, but winds are really going to pick up. 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting even higher than that. So I know this is what everyone wants to see, the timing. So let's get into it. Here is basically what's going on now, except the futurecast is a little bullish when it comes to the rain intensity, not matching the radar of what we're seeing right now. In fact, it is significantly lighter than what futurecast is painting. So here's later in the morning, still that rain shadow setting up over the northeastern side or northeast of the Olympics. So that's where we'll have the significantly lower rain totals. Then we get into the afternoon. You see how it's more scattered, and except up in the Cascades, that's where we could have some heavier pockets of rain. That's going to taper off into late tonight. We could even see some sun breaks in the mix for today. Now tomorrow morning, waking up to maybe some fog, maybe a couple of sprinkles, but as we get into the afternoon, we're going to have that stronger system, a stronger front moving in, and that's going to bring steady rain over the area. But watch what happens as you start to see some of the yellows and the oranges. Could also get maybe a thunderstorm or two in the mix, especially if we get some sun breaks. So the difference between this system and what's going to play out Tuesday and into Wednesday, we're going to have heavier rain and some stronger winds. So the highest rain totals are going to come with Tuesday and Wednesday's system. Let's carry through into our Tuesday night and into Wednesday, and you see how we get passing showers. So this is what's going to be what we have to watch out for Tuesday and into Wednesday when it comes to even some thunderstorm development. So these pockets, even if it's just scattered to numerous showers, they will pack a punch and produce some of the heavier rain totals and some of maybe the thunderstorm activity as well. So you see how rain coverage isn't as widespread with this system, but expected to be the stronger system. Let's talk about the wind gusts for Tuesday. Ahead of this next system, this is where we're going to have the better chance to see some wind gusts, even in Puget Sound, over 30 miles per hour, but you see through the strait, the coast could get wind gusts over 30, maybe 40 miles per hour. Then we get into Tuesday night, still a little gusty out there. Same for Wednesday, we could get wind gusts over 30 miles per hour. We're not expecting any widespread significant windstorm with this, but we'll still have some of those gusty winds that could push a lot of that water closer to the coast. Some beach erosion may be possible with that. So that's what we'll have to watch out for our coastal areas, so the beaches. But the rest of us, just with some of the foliage, it's still on the strong side. So it'll blow off some of the leaves that we have. I know we're still in the early season of our beautiful fall foliage, the changing colors. But either way, this would be the first big system of the season. Even then, we're not expecting any major issues with this. But beneficial rain, that's what we all need. So With all of that being said, over the next 7 days, so this is basically now until about Friday, just because we're not expecting much in the way of rain as we head into the weekend, you see on average about 1/2 inch for Puget Sound. Locally higher amounts are likely, as we well know. That's just even with any plain system that will move in. But all in all, as always, the coast, the mountains will get the bulk of the rain. But again, going to be super beneficial, especially for the North Cascades. That's where we'll likely have some of the highest rain totals. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast, because I know that's also what you want to see. So we'll have rain to showers Tuesday, the opposite. We'll have a dry morning and then afternoon rain. It's going to spread over the area. We'll have to watch out for a couple of thunderstorms. Wednesday, showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two, going to be on the breezy side. Same for Thursday, but you see how rain starts to taper off as we get closer to the weekend. But our temperatures will be cooler as well. So for now, looks like our weekend will be mostly dry, which is good for any weekend plans. The M's, they will be at home too, and big weekend up ahead. The Hawks are home as well. The Sounders are playing, so busy weekend in sports, and plus it's just fall weekend. So here's a look beyond the 7-day forecast. I've had several people ask if we see any more summery temperatures. Well, no, not for the remainder of the year. We are losing daylight, so shorter days. Sun angle's not going to be as high, so we have less time for us to warm up. And plus, it's fall, it's October, or we're heading in October. And so likely not going to see anything significant like that. But this weekend, we had beautiful conditions. We had highs in the low and mid 70s, but that's not going to be the case this entire week. Remember, you can always find the latest forecast and extended forecast where we can take the time and go through the forecast and some of the models just to analyze it for you. You can find that on King 5 Plus, streaming 24 hours, and our free King 5 app, king5.com as well, and you can always find the latest on air and our YouTube page as well.